And welcome to the CBU Events Center for live inland sports coverage of California Baptist WAC opener. A huge crowd on hand here in the city of Riverside as the Lancers are opening up their first season in the WAC against Geoff, the best of the best, the defending WAC champions. These guys went to the big dance last season. Of course, we're talking about New Mexico State.
Hey, I'll tell you, you're mentioning this New Mexico State team and starting your first game of your Division I era in your conference, playing against the very best. And guess what? These guys only lost to number 2 Kansas by 3 points. They've beaten two Pac-12 teams, Washington State twice. They beat UTEP twice. They have beaten Mountain West teams. This is a very, very good test and opener for California Baptist University.
You know, and not too long ago, I remember interviewing Eli Chua. He's a big man for New Mexico State out of Redlands East Valley High School, one of the top players here for the Aggies. So we got a local connection here with the New Mexico State team that comes to Riverside as well. And for California Baptist, you know, we've seen them quite a bit. They are off to a great start this season at 8-5. New Mexico State, again, 11-3. And Geoff, going back to the Aggies schedule early on this season, the first thing you said to me was they only lost to Kansas by 3.
Yeah, in fact, they lost to them on December 8th, 63-60. But, man, they beat, like I said, they beat Washington State twice. They've beaten Colorado State. They've hammered our friends over at Cal State Northridge. This is a very, very solid ball club. Coached by Chris Jans in his second year. He's 60-21 in 2 years. That's a pretty darn good record as a head coach.
So we're just doing a quick little live pregame show from inside the CBU Events Center. So if you're watching us live on Twitter or the YouTube channel right now, we appreciate it. At the end of the game, we will have video highlights, and we'll break down the first ever WAC game for the California Baptist men's basketball team. In fact, just to our right, they're still warming up. We got a little B-roll of them early on, warming up, getting ready for the Aggies here tonight. Geoff, the students aren't here on campus right now. We're still in Christmas break, but we're already sizing up a huge crowd inside the event center.
You know, I'm anticipating it's going to be a sellout. They're $2 tickets tonight here.
$2?
$2.
Even I would pay that.
Heck, I have $2 change in my car. I came in and paid my $2, and I'll tell you, this is a fantastic venue. It's the first time I've been to a game here in the new event center. This is something to behold. We've seen a lot of great arenas this year covering games. This might be the very best.
Yeah, it's a great setting for college basketball. Two great teams as well. In fact, I know it's the conference opener, but these might be the two best teams in the WAC this season going head-to-head in their first conference game of the year.
Yeah, in fact, this is going to be a high-scoring affair. Cal Baptist comes in averaging almost 83 points a game. New Mexico State averages almost 80, so it's going to be a close one. But like you said, the two best teams in the WAC. And the sad thing is, as good as Cal Baptist can play the entire season, they're not going to get an opportunity to play in that March Madness. They might get a tournament. It just might not be in the NCAA.
The CBI, the tradition and the pageantry of the College Basketball Invitational.
Yeah.
Right? The CBI.
Yeah, the CBI, but
isn't it?
It is.
Do I have it wrong? Maybe I have it wrong.
I always want the best, and I see CBU here, and I look at the arena. This is going to be a force to be reckoned with. You can talk about UCLA, you can talk about SC, you can talk about UC Riverside. The environment here is contagious. A lot of guys are going to want to come play for Coach Rick Troy. This is a phenomenal facility and a great school.
Yeah, it's already one of the top places to play. I mean, look at that. That's like 4K video, you know what I mean? Like, it's beyond even HD video up here on the Jumbotron. Everything about this place is wonderful. In fact, we saw CBU take on UC Riverside, which was a great rivalry. They had that buzzer beater against Oral Roberts. The WAC opener tonight. There's already been these milestones for the Lancers along this season so far, and tonight's another big milestone for them.
You know, and we're going to touch on a couple milestones. California Baptist University, remember, they played the Big West favorited UC Irvine to 3 points. They lost by 3. This is, I mean, if we're going to compare conferences, we're going to see right away if the Big West and the WAC conference, if California Baptist can walk away with a victory here versus the contending and defending champs, they've got something to look forward to going from here on out.
Yeah, New Mexico State coming off a season in which they reached the big dance, and already at 11-3, probably the WAC favorite. I don't see the preseason poll in here in our game notes, but I would have to imagine they're the preseason favorite to win the WAC again.
Hey, the WAC is no joke. It's a lot of teams in the conference. You go from Chicago State to Seattle U. Seattle University's 12-3 this season. New Mexico State 11-3, and Utah Valley, which is 11-4. I saw both those teams last year. I saw Seattle University play UC Riverside and Utah Valley. I think this California Baptist University team is just as good, or not, if not better than those teams, but a very tough and intense conference nonetheless.
You know, I was talking to Dr. Micah Parker. He is the director of athletics for California Baptist on my way in, and he said, ironically, if you look back at all of the CBU teams throughout the fall, they all opened up conference play. They all opened up WAC against the reigning champions. I don't know if that was by design with the newcomer being CBU going into the WAC, but he said men's soccer, women's soccer, volleyball, their very first WAC contest was against the reigning champion. So right out of the gate, they want to see how good CBU is.
Well, and it's a good litmus test. I mean, CBU, let's talk about Coach Rick Roy. You know, just since being here at California Baptist, he's 108 games or 106 games over 500. That is an incredible stat. But you look at every single sport here on campus, they've done very well. They have exceeded expectations. And you and I talked to a lot of Division I coaches, a lot of Division I administrators. They have made the seamless jump to Division I probably better than anyone in the history of Division I sports. And that's something to be said.
Yeah, you know, just recently when I was working in Bakersfield, I saw Cal State Bakersfield make that transition from Division II to Division I. And there are certainly learning curves. Some of the teams, some of the programs make that transition a little quicker than others, but there's certainly growing pains going from Division II to Division I. But what CBU has on its side is the fact that, Geoff, they've already done this a couple times as they went from NAIA to Division II and now Division II to Division I. So they've kind of gone through this process. So they know there's a jump in the caliber of competition, the kind of athletes, kind of teams they're going to see. So they're used to kind of navigating to another higher level.
Yeah, and I think it boils down to the coaches you have on campus. Let's just talk baseball. You have Gary Adcock, a very, very well-respected coach, not only in the community but nationally. He's getting those national players. He's getting the local guys. And Rick Roy, in his 6th season here, like I said, he's 106 games over 500, 140-34. He was 8-5 last year, or 8-5 starting Division I. That is unheard of. But it boils down to the guys he recruits. He recruits guys that are older, more mature, and he recruits Division I. He's been recruiting Division I athletes for the past several years. That's why they've been so successful at the Division II level. You
know what? That's a great point you make, and that kind of segues into our guy here, Milan Aqua. He's a Washington State transfer. In fact, he played at Washington State. It wasn't like he was the last guy off the bench we never heard of. He played at Washington State. He transferred here to CBU. He's now the leading scorer in all the WAC. So you take all the guys playing on a WAC team, he is the top scorer. And you can see, Geoff, he looks like a grown man out here. He already has a couple seasons of college basketball under his belt, and he can dominate and take over a game with the best of them.
And we've talked about it on the Endless Sports Show in the past. He's the only guy in Division I basketball that is as a point guard, he leads in the top 10 in scoring, rebounding, assists, and steals.
He's right in front of us right now.
He's in the top 10 of point guards in all 4 divisions. That's an incredible stat right there. That tells you the kind of player he is. He's going to be playing someday for a lot of money after he leaves California Baptist University.
Well, CBU is set up to win now. Huge game tonight for California Baptist taking on New Mexico State in their WAC opener as we are going inside the Lancers, presented by Magnolia Heating and Cooling. After the game, again, join us right here on Twitter and YouTube. We'll have a quick analysis and highlights from this game, and we'll see if the Lancers can kick off the WAC era with a win against the defending champions right out of the gate, Geoff. Huge game.
Well, I'll tell you, it's a great atmosphere. It's electric. You know, the music is so loud it makes your heartbeat feel like you're having a heart attack. I got the hair on my arms is standing up. I got goosebumps. I'm excited to watch. Watch basketball in the best venue in the city of Riverside.
So come back here to the Inland Sports Twitter feed, also the YouTube channel for analysis and highlights from this game of CBU taking on New Mexico State. We are just about, 5 minutes away from tip-off here at the CBU Events Center. You can see behind us, it's starting to get packed in here. The music is loud, the people are filing in, the food smells good, the Jumbotron is cracking. It's just a great night for basketball.
They have waiters on the court asking if you want food and beverages.
You're in heaven.
Oh, this is like being at the Staples Center. I don't think I've ever sat, outside of college basketball games, I don't think I've ever been this close watching one college basketball game. This is great.
We are dead on mid-court. We're front row, mid-court. It doesn't get any better than this.
Yeah, so thank you to California Baptist. You guys have done a great job. Thanks for inviting us, and I'm excited to watch the first game here in the arena. Mike
Minyard, Dr. Micah Parker, Andrew Shortall, Sammy Wellman, they've all been so gracious to Inland Sports. We appreciate them making room here courtside to bring you some live coverage of a historic event, Jeff. This is a milestone. This is a big deal. CBU's first ever game in the WAC. And again, it's coming against a team that was in the NCAA tournament from a season ago. So we'll have highlights in about 2 hours. I'd say about 9 o'clock. Check back on the YouTube channel and the Twitter feed as well for live coverage of CBU and New Mexico State. We're going to wrap it up here for Geoff Gorham. My name is Pep Fernandez. Make sure you follow us on Twitter. Hit the subscribe button on YouTube as well. We'd really appreciate it. And coming up on Tuesday, Jeff, we'll be back in the TV studio for a quote-unquote normal Inland Sports TV show.
A lot of stuff. We've got a lot of stuff to talk about. You and I were on the road for 5 days.
Oh, my gosh.
We were in 4 different hotels, and guess what? It was not one place was it not snowing. There was snow everywhere. We were surrounded by snow.
It's a wacky time of the year as we're talking WAC basketball, and you can be sure we'll be talking about CBU, how they open up conference play on the next Inland Sports TV show. Inside the Lancers, presented by Magnolia Heating and Cooling. For Geoff Gorham, I'm Pep Fernandez. We'll see you after the game as CBU is tipping off WAC play against the reigning champs, New Mexico State. The Inland Sports Show is brought to you by Spoiled. Quick, quality oil change. Spoil yourself and your car at Spoiled. Kin Sporting Goods. They have all of your sporting gear needs, Letterman's jackets, and team uniforms. Catalano Motors in Corona off of Temescal Canyon Road. You're going to save thousands of dollars at Catalano Motors. And Boost Performance Training with Coach Ray Bass. Athletes of all levels and all sports are going to Boost Performance Training in Corona.
What's going on, guys? Coach Bass here. To all you football players, as season comes to an end, don't miss the opportunity to get better this offseason. We're rolling out our overtime strength training program. Our overtime program is a 3-6-week cycle that'll be starting on January 7th. We're going to have 3 levels: beginners, intermediate, and advanced for elementary, middle, and high school athletes. And what you can expect with our overtime program is what you can always expect here at Boost. Strength development, speed development. We're going to be doing performance testing and nutritional guidance to help you guys get bigger, stronger, and faster. So overtime's coming back. It's starting January 7th, and it's going to be better than ever. If you'd like to find more information about our overtime program that has served a lot of great athletes in the Corona-Norco area, feel free to contact us directly through Facebook, on Instagram at Boost Training, or Twitter, Boost_Training. Or reach out to us directly here at our gym at 951-532-4904.